Karceno in the house. Shouts out to everybody out there earning and getting it the real way. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. That's how we get down out here. Now, let's get it how we live. Sometimes you gotta get it in blood, sometimes you gotta get it in the mud. But yeah, I've heard the controversy. I heard everybody's observations and what they think. What's up, Marcus? And everybody wanted to know what I thought about it from the rip. They was like, you gotta talk about this. This young dude was crazy. It was some clip some young kid had during a debate talking about who was better, style-wise, everything-wise, right? Who was better, Nas or Jim Jones? I'm like, what? So I'm looking at the situation play out, right? And you know it don't make no sense to me, right? I'm like, Nas and Jim Jones in the same sentence? Why? Like, who would ever be putting these two on a pedestal? I mean, seriously. I felt embarrassed that I had to even speak about this. I'm embarrassed. I really am. I'm embarrassed that I would ever in hip-hop history. Damn, I went over to the damn thing. But I'm embarrassed I have to speak on this. For what? This is Jim Jones. Jim Jones, y'all. Goonie Goo Goo. One-Eye Willie. You must be silly. That's like me comparing doo-doo to boo-boo. It's Jim Jones. One-Eye Willie. Goonie Goo Goo. What am I comparing? You know, yeah, cause you know I'm on Billboard. I got more hits than Nas. In what world? In what reality do you have more hits than Nas? Ballin'? Ballin' for real? Have you sold more records than Nas? Even currently. We know we're not talking lyrically. And even fashion. Nas had way better clothes than you. He dressed way better than you dudes. Y'all was bummy. You even acknowledged, man, I admire Nas, man, because he was always fly. He always had that fly clothes. He used to come by, man, and his fits be fly, man. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get like that one day. Man, y'all was bummy. Now, I understand the young generation, right? These young folks, the YNs, what they call the YNs, I understand them. They have an attachment to this situation. They have they're having some emotional attachment to the situation due to the event. That is Jim Jones, that is he's talking about capo status, X, Y, and Z. Yeah, they got a few diamonds. They do a lot of different few things on the scenes, but other than that, they're not really moving the needle. Now, when we start talking about taking things to the next level and growing and expanding and getting to the next level and all this, when we start trying to go to those avenues, we're not looking and thinking about these guys over here. Why would we be doing that? Why would we waste our time dealing with something that is counteractive or counterproductive in this way? I understand people like LB, that he liked Jim Jones and all those guys, the Goonie Goo Goo guys. He liked them. I get that. You like these dudes. These are your guys. You grew up on ballin' and all that. These are your crew. I understand. You grew up on Jimmy. And this is why New York hip-hop's been dead for a long time. Because y'all grew up on a dude who ain't gonna sell but a gold record. You might have some people that say Jim Jones is better than Kendrick Lamar. And you best believe they from the East Coast only. Jimmy is a local cat. Wearing black leather pants in the summertime, musty and dirty, and just Jim Jones to me has just never ever been that guy. I look at it and say, hey, he fly. He look bummy. Scruffy looking bummy. That's what he looked like to me, the scruffy looking bummy dude. I have not looked at Jim Jones and said, man, I don't want that jacket Jim Jones got. I'd be like, man, I don't want nothing Jim Jones got. Looked like a hobo was wearing it. Like he went to sleep in it and woke up in the clothes. But what are we basing this on? Hit records? Hit songs talking about I'm Billboard? I got more Billboard chart songs than Nas? I'm like, when have you been on Billboard? I don't, dog, it was like an ultimate troll. And people were falling for it. Like, it's people like, no, man, Jim Jones got hits. That song was hot. I'm like, probably for New York. Because y'all just start falling into this garbage trend. And when you fall into a garbage trend, this is exactly what I be talking about all the time. You start following into a garbage trend, and then you get all these people throwing themselves away. When you said Jim Jones and Snoop Dogg are your two favorite rappers, because both of them had help with bars a while back. Well, yeah, that's pretty much. They said there's no way JJ could be in the same breath as Nas. Nas and Dot are the two favorite MCs of all time. MCs are different. I mean, yeah, well, it's the Cino is fresher than Jim. I'm not trying to be fresher than Jim. I ain't trying to be fresh and deaf to impress some 20-year-olds. It's not how I move. I dress to impress ladies of my ilk. Or I'm just wearing clothes to go outside. I'm not even trying to impress you. Shoot, I'm trying to make money every day. I wake up, I'm gonna make more money than I did yesterday. What have I learned today? I learned something today. These are the things that I'm on the with. But all of this Jim Jones crap, that's only people from New York. Have you noticed it's only been people from New York? Now, Jimmy gets up today and he smiles and goes, Yeah. You know what this about? This about, yeah, I'm lit. Everybody talking about me, I'm lit though. So yeah, if this is what he wanted to accomplish, he did it. He got some show he trying to promote. He did it. He got people talking about him because he put his name next to Nas. Some other guy actually mentioned it and he just doubled down on it. And it was so like insane, even to the YNs. It was YNs is like, no, he's tripping. Because they not from New York. But anybody in New York, they will tell you Jim Jones is up there. I grew up on Jim Jones. Nas wasn't even out there like that. Nas put out 6 albums in 3 years. And Jim Jones is doing what? He on a reality show, arguing with his wife, ex-wife, or whatever, and some other people. He running around there fighting for $60,000 or something. I don't know. But this one you do when it's over. Yeah, Magnificent stayed fly. That was a different scenario, different situation. You know, I always kept my business and friends separated. Unless I was doing business with my friends, which was very rare. He should have stayed in Cam's good graces. Jimmy was never gonna... Jimmy's a street dude. Okay? It's like every year they had these fallouts. But it's always when Jimmy go broke. Then next thing you know, he's a blood. Hey, Jim Jones is a blood now. Since when? Jimmy ain't never been a blood. Now he a blood? For real? What metaphors and bars? Man, Jimmy be saying some bars. Man, Jimmy ain't cold at all. Whatever he said, that was probably the last thing somebody balled up and threw away. That's what probably happened. That's because you got 18 to 17 different people trying to come up with a way to make something work that hasn't been working. All right. Some Jewels balled up and threw away, not Jimmy in there rapping. Yo, man, we in there like some effing kitchen, little kittens. Yeah, I'm straight up on here, man. I'm telling you, man, capo status. Man, you swelly, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm the general of this, man. You smell me? I'm coming for them. Don't play with me, Brazzy. Yeah, I'm all over the place. You smell me? Tell you, Jim Jones, boy, capo status. When I see you, man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna smack that kufi right off your head. That's what they call me, the Koofy Smacker. Yeah. I'm gonna get Mace too. On the Way to Church. That's my new album too. I named it On the Way to Church. Go pick that up February 17th. On the Way to Church. I'm naming my album that because I'm coming to get you, Mace. On the Way to Church. Clowns. Clownish. Nobody move like that. That's clownish. Nas probably don't even know none of this is going on. They was Nas, man, you lit. There's some beef going on with you and Jim Jones. What? Ew. Ew, son. Word. That's it. That's all you gonna get. Who said that? The internet. It's crazy. Ew, son. Word. So that's all you gonna get. The whole scenario is laid out. Well, the government loving all of us who thugging it. They want to lock us up because their kids is loving it. Not knowing that most rappers are straight ass. Especially if their name is Jim Jones. Capo status. Who capo? Who the hell made you a capo? This is what I'm talking about when it comes to this Jim Jones crap. This is the stuff I be talking about. This is the stuff of legend. I remember we was at Old Man Peabody's. And we call it Old Man Peabody's from Back to the Future. That's what we used to call the spot we used to go to, Old Man Peabody's. It was like, man, we going to Old Man Peabody's. So when we get in there, they playing Jim Jones, right? They playing Jimmy. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching them. They're playing Jim Jones. And everybody was like, hey, that's that new Jim Jones, man. That's knocking, boy. That's that deep set, man. That's what I'm talking about. Man, that Jim Jones, man, he the hardest one out the crew, though. Yeah, Jimmy, man, them beats be hard. But they can't tell you nothing Jimmy talking about. Man, you see them, man, Jimmy had that suit, that leather suit. Yeah, I'm going to get that whole leather suit. I'm like, they love Jim Jones. Dipset, smoked out. Purple City Bird Gang. Yeah, Purple City Bird Gang. I'm like, this dude was in 55 clicks. We the Skull Gang. Skull Gang. I was like, Skull Gang? When you Purple City Bird Gang? Which one is you? You Dipset, you Purple City Bird Gang, you Skull Gang. What the hell other gang you gonna be? You a blood? What's your clique? Talking to me about this goddamn Jim Jones, boy. Y'all done got me hot. Yeah, now I'm vamp life. What? Now you a goddamn vampire? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Gimmicks. He's in here to sell and products and gimmicks. That's it. Yeah, not to be confused with a Nas or somebody. Now they doing this to troll and thinking he lit because of this. This is what he think lit is. So the whole scenario is down the drain. Nah, I never saw it as that. What I see is it was written as better than his whole discography. I mean, it was written any album you want to get, Nostradamus, shoot, any of them. I mean, you can get lost tapes, anything. Any song, Dr. Knockboot is better than anything Jim Jones did made. Any song that Nas made that I didn't listen to or like is better than anything Jim Jones have ever created. That dude is trash. I would listen to Kodak Black front and back with featuring Little Uzi Vert before I listen to Jim Jones. And that's facts. I'm gonna get up out of here. Thanks y'all for liking this, man. I just had to tell it like it is. All right. Holla.